One day, Farmer saw Donkey fall into a very deep hole. Farmer didn't know how to help Donkey, so he decided to bury him. Farmer grabbed his shovel and began shoveling dirt down into the hole. Donkey, down below, felt the dirt hit his back. He shook the dirt off and stomped the ground. Farmer, unaware, continued shoveling dirt down below. Donkey, unaware of Farmer's intentions, continued to shake the dirt off his back and stomp the ground, making him that much closer to the top. On and on, the moronic dance continued. Farmer shoveling dirt down into the hole, Donkey shaking it off his back, stomping the ground, that much closer to the top. Which is unfortunate, because all that shaking and all that stomping did only one thing. It attracted Shahalud, the mighty sandworm of Araxis. May the passing of Donkey cleanse the world. I'm Blue Shark 45, and this is the G.N.A podcast.
Welcome to the G.N.A podcast, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol, where we don't let Blue do any more cold openings. Oh, God, that was terrible.
But it was funny.
Oh, my God. I'm sitting there. You started, and I'm going, where is this going? And I could have swore you told me what the hell it was, but I should have read it, because I didn't.
It's in honor of Dune. Dune's out in theaters, folks. Go see it. Read the book.
Yeah, read the book. Well,
actually, no. See the movie.
The movie's actually really good. It is. All right, so we've got a ton of people here tonight. So let's get through introductions because we've got a very special guest with us tonight as well. So you heard him. We got Damok. How you feeling, Damok?
I'm not as drunk as I should be after all that tequila, but I'm here.
All right, and we got D from Microbrew Gamerz. D, how you feeling tonight, guy?
I'm doing all right. Feeling a little bit better health-wise, so I'm going to be drinking tonight.
Nice. I might actually go grab a beer. I don't know. And you heard him. Well, you've already heard him, and you're already shaking your head. You may have facepalmed so hard you've given yourself a concussion from it, but you heard Blue Shark 45. How you feeling, Blue?
You know, I feel very secure with rock foundations underneath me, no shifting sands around, so I feel safe.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the grabbers. And we have a very special guest, Trever Alexander. How are you doing tonight, man?
Doing very great. Got a beer, ready to just stunned by that opening and so ready to have a conversation. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, why don't we start off here? Since you're the new guy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So he said Trever, located way up here in Ottawa, Canada. Coming from a podcast called New Dad Gaming. So it's a college friend of mine. We've been doing it for about 5 years after my first son was born. And it was just the idea of what on earth does a guy with a couple kids do to play a couple games? And what's that look like? And hell, what's it even look like when a kid starts gaming himself? And how do you navigate that crazy world? So designer otherwise, up in Ottawa, gamer, and lover of beers. And so excited to be here on the show.
Rock on. Well, I'm pretty sure every one of us here, well, except for Blue, poor Blue, has a kid, some way, shape, or form.
Oh, you saw mine walking by.
I was going to say, yeah, we did just see Danny. He's looking good, too, man. He's looking healthy.
Yep. And then awesome. Anya's in the other room, so I got two myself.
Good night. It's the right number, I think. Anybody who goes past that is a little bit wild, I think. Met some people with 6. I've met one couple with 8, which is just after you get to 2 and you're thinking like,
After 2,
Like I'm surviving with 2, and like you have 8. So say the number 8. Like
that's a glutton for punishment.
8, like 2.
It's like it's like, what else do you do besides having 8 kids? Well, I also like to put my dick in a vice and squeeze. I mean, it's like, what type of torture do you put yourself through?
Okay, do you guys remember Groucho Marx, right? Yes, nod, yes. Okay, so Groucho Marx used to do live shows all the time, and he had this one thing where he was introducing all of his guests, and the guests were going along, and he's just talking to the one guy. He's like, yeah, so why don't you tell me? We'll just call him Bill. I forget what his actual name is. Like, Bill, tell us about yourself, Bill. He's like, he's like, I'm from here and this. He's like, okay, Bill, well, tell me, are you married, Bill? He's like, yeah, I'm married. And, he's always got that cigar. He's like, man, isn't marriage wonderful? It's fantastic. He's like, you got any kids? Bill's like, yeah, I've got several kids. How many you got? He's like, I've got 14. He's just 14. I like my cigar a lot, but I take it out every once in a while. Love Groucho Marx. Saw that on a live broadcast from my uncle, and I'm paraphrasing a bunch of stuff in there, but it's just like, holy crap!
Off the top of his head too. Damn.
Nice.
That is sharp. That is such a great rib.
Oh yeah. Groucho Marx was like, he was that guy. He was on the point every single time. Well, the first thing we go into what are we drinking? Because that's, games, nerds, and alcohol. That A at the end is usually a big one. So we just usually kick into what's everybody drinking. We try to talk about, we don't just say, hey, I'm drinking Elysium Full Contact Imperial Hazy IPA. We try to tell a little bit about like what it is, how we feel, what we like to taste, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll kick this one off because I wasn't actually going to drink tonight, but I've had this one last Elysian Full Contact sitting in my fridge. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to drink this guy. It's a full contact Imperial Hazy IPA. It is, if you like IPAs, this may be a little bit too fruity for you. It's not very hoppy at all. When you get the first smell, you think it's going to be incredibly hoppy, like really strong hops on the nose. The attack is very fruity, not floral at all. Very fruity, very sweet. The finish has got a little bit of hops, but way less than you would expect there to be in a hazy IPA. It does have that, it's hard to describe, that thick taste that you get at a hazy IPAs. It definitely has that thick flavor and that thick taste, and it's really nice. This would be a good smooth drinker, like if you're going to chill out for a day at the beach or something, or maybe a long barbecue day, because it's really not that hard to drink. And I don't know what the ABV is. I should have looked that up before I started drinking. And I'm turning this can around, and you would think that they would put it on here somewhere, but I don't know if you guys can see the can. It's got this weird blue looking kind of pattern to it that makes it hella hard to read anything on the damn thing.
Have you tried putting it on your other glasses?
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's 8.9%. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I guess it maybe not be an all drinker at a barbecue because you might die. It doesn't taste an alcoholic. It really doesn't. It's really
only 9%. Yeah, fine.
It's not Scottish. It's crap. No, it's actually really smooth. I honestly thought this was going to be in the 6 or lower range. That could be dangerous. Now that I'm sipping on that a bit more, that could be real dangerous. D, what are you drinking tonight, man?
Well, I'm trying to finish them up because I had it on there before, but the Oktoberfest Lager, really good. It's a typical lager. For this time of year, but its attack, it's almost a little floral, but it's kind of sweet, so it's not too hoppy. Really smooth on the attack. It's a very good basic lager.
Oh crap!
Drink.
Yeah, so that's a little game on the podcast that D actually forced up because he kept saying the word, and we don't have to drink for this. I'm explaining it. He kept saying the word basic all the time. In fact, it was one of his staple point words, finally to the point of, I don't remember if it was Blue or me or Zyber, but somebody said, every time you say basic now, we're all going to drink, in hopes that we were just going to get him plastered and he'd pass out and we would never have to hear basic again. Unfortunately,
to their dismay, I'm former Army, so I can keep drinking and be stupid.
Yeah.
The stupidity can last.
Yeah, I woke up under the desk several times.
But it's also, this is only 5.7% alcohol, so it actually is a smooth, just regular, just drink, relax. You're not going to get you hammered. So really good for this time of year. Well, September actually, because Oktoberfest is actually in September. Contrary to what we do in this country. I spent some time in Germany, so it's weird. It has a Oktoberfest name for a completely different reason. I don't remember what, but they celebrate it. It's like a couple weeks long in September. Actually, a lot of fun.
What about you, Trevor? What are you drinking tonight, man?
So I'm drinking a Bose Lugtred. So that's a local beer from up here in Ottawa. So representing the home city. This is one of the more interesting ones because before we kind of got into like a renaissance of craft beer here in Ontario, the province or state that I'm in, there's only kind of a couple. And this is one of those mainstays, like one of those first ones that shows up, but then just kind of shows everybody how it's done. Like this is a basic, like, well, I just threw out the basic word. Very sorry. Everybody take a drink. A straightforward lagered ale. So it's not going to throw any curveballs at you, but you're going to take it and just enjoy every bit of it. So it's rounded. It has a decent amount of malt to it. There's not a lot of hops to speak of for it. You can almost kind of get a bit of fruit like citrus at the end, but it's very much hidden in the background. So the ones that really hit you is kind of that rounded palate to it, and then the malt really comes through. But it's super clean finish, and it ends up being a really delicious beer. So if it ever does show up, I don't know that they really got out of Canada. Don't know how that distribution, but if you ever do, come on up. Bose Lugtred, a lagered ale, quite delicious. That's coming in at 5.8%.
That does sound good. Sounds really good.
That does sound good. Man, Blue, we got to make it up to Canada.
If you're nothing off the beer.
Yeah, I actually was going to go to Canada one year to visit Colby and try to see the Langels. But then I got sick as a dog and had to go to the hospital and lost, I think, 2 weeks of pay being in the hospital. So that kind of killed that. So.
Well, we've got so many people that we got to visit now. And I don't mean by visit by torture. I mean actually visit, say hi, that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I just Toronto is one place I definitely want to go just because I've been told there's all the foods there.
Oh yeah.
You can see all of that.
Just pick it, throw a dart at a map and there's probably a restaurant from whatever country you hit inside of Toronto. The international cuisine's kind of nuts. So consider this your official Canadian invitation to come on by anytime you like.
Nice.
There we go. Now we're officially invited. So if they stop us at the border this time, we can
just
tell
say
them.
my name.
Yeah,
oh, dude, you don't have to worry about the border. I'll take you to North Dakota. And when you go to North Dakota, you can just walk across that football field and you're in Canada and there's nothing. They don't give a fuck.
Come on over. It's very open.
What about you, Damok? What are you drinking, man?
Halil. Come on, Blue. Help me out with the fucking pronunciation of it.
Halal? What is this? Are we praising Allah?
The Jal Halal whatever fucking beer.
It's
halal. Halai. Whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. Standard. Fuck you guys. It is a basic bitch beer and I'm drinking it.
God damn it.
It is not.
No, it's not. It's a very sophisticated beer. It is not basic in any fucking way.
Seriously, who gave the sophisticated beer to the former Army guy?
We
can't. We're practically illiterate here.
I was gonna say, I'm fucking so brain damaged that my taste buds from all the salt water that we had to fucking drink because it keeps you hydrated to add salt tablets to your fucking canteen water. Yeah, the Army kind of ruined my taste buds or
the iodine you had added to kill all the crap that when we're drinking.
Oh, true story. Fucking all that goddamn iodine. And you're good thing I'm not allergic to certain things.
It's are you guys okay? Maybe.
All right, so what's the thing? What's it like? Give me some info. What's this thing like, man?
Dude, I just got telling you, my taste buds are ruined by fucking salt water. Okay, I don't know. It tastes like good flavored beer that is relatively smooth and easy to drink. I have half a glass and I could down it in 2 gulps, and it doesn't fuck with my acid reflux or indigestion. It's pretty goddamn good overall. I recommend it.
It's an IPA.
Oh, it's an IPA.
So,
okay. Well, there we go. There's some info. What's the ABV on it?
I don't know. I threw the can away. 6-ish.
Yeah, it's about that.
You have failed your family.
It's Highlight, and it's Cigar City's the brewery.
Yeah, Cigar City makes it. I'm a liar. It's 7.5% with 65 IBUs. It is an IPA. Yeah, like I said, the name is misconceiving.
Highlight.
Highly. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I've had a lot of tequila as well.
It's the dog races that
dude,
are...
I got God over here in my fucking ear. And he's just like, you're fucking saying things wrong. Like, I've had a lot of tequila too, man. Fuck, I had Mexican food, and I love me some tequila and Mexican food.
Do you have
Combat
the devil
arms over
over
here?
the other shoulder?
I do. Look, I got the patron saint of vodka over one shoulder. I got God over the other shoulder. Like, this is not working out for me tonight.
Well, I mean,
Getting pulled in all directions.
No matter which
Both
way
mine
you
are
go,
mentally
you're covered.
special.
Well, next segment, State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about...
What am I, chopped liver here?
Yeah, you are. I
Yes,
don't care about what you're
yes.
drinking.
Is
We
the
can see
opener
what
really
you're
that
drinking.
bad?
God, it was
We
so
see what you're
terrible, I
drinking.
forgot you were here. That's how bad it was. What are you drinking?
All right. So, Damok, the last time I was on the show, was enjoying Yingling Hershey's Porter. So, I decided that I was going to go out and I was going to try this. And I just want to say, first things first, the label says Yingling, and right below it says Hershey's Chocolate Porter. And they put a little sticker on here twice, one at the top and the one right above Yingling, and it says 21 plus to enjoy, just to make it clear that, hey, guess what, this is still alcohol. I've been staring at this thing since we started, and I've been trying to find what the ABV is on this. I don't think it's much.
No, Yinling's around 5.4 to 5.7.
Yeah, I mean, and so it's not really strong. The nice thing that I like about the porter, or this Hershey's Porter, is that it's a very subdued chocolate taste. So it's not this huge like chocolate palate, just like flooding your mouth. It's very subdued, and it makes the porter just a little more mellow to drink. When I think about it, it almost makes me think of an oatmeal stout. If you don't like how strong a stout is in flavor, an oatmeal stout to me is a lot more milder in taste. So that's what I think the Hershey's does for this Yingling Porter. Because I think Yingling made another one that's a porter that was very strong in the coffee realm. It's called Black and Tan. I want to make sure that's
really. So I like Black and Tan, but I disagree with it being on the coffee side of things.
Well, I'd have to say it's been probably, God, how old was I? I was still in college, so it's probably been 10 years since I've had one.
Okay, so if I'm going to drink a Yingling, I prefer the Black and Tan. It's just harder to find overall, unless I go to like Publix or something. I can't pick it up from Sheetz or Wawa or 7-Eleven. I have to go to a grocery store, and hopefully they have it.
Well, would you agree though that it's actually smoother than the Black and Tan, the Hershey's Porter?
Oh, the Hershey's Porter by far is. I had no idea. I know Cecil said something about it, or Selkie said something about it, and we were waiting. We were going to go to Massanutten, and somebody was hoarding some, and then I totally blanked on it, and I found it randomly and loved it. I will say, if you talk to Vintage, that Screwball peanut butter whiskey with the Yingling. You already got it. I was gonna say you have to try that because I've not had a chance to do that.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and let's add a little bit to this glass. I was sipping on this every time you all said the accursed phrase on this show.
The accursed phrase, that which we shall not speak.
Oh, that is good. I don't do a lot of beer cocktails, but Yeah, that's definitely so it's not as chocolatey as I would like it to be, but
see, I noticed that drinking the beer, the chocolate taste was on the aftertaste. And it was really good. Like you have a nice beer taste, but then like, did I just eat a fucking bite of a Hershey's bar? It was really good.
I would say it's not like it wouldn't be like their milk chocolate. It tastes more like their special dark on the back of the tongue. It's definitely not, you're definitely not getting like milk chocolate taste. You're going to get which is good, because if you don't want to really like sugary taste, then I would go with that. Now, if you do want a little bit of sugar and you do have Screwball lying around, I would say that you definitely want to maybe do a shot, maybe 2 for a bottle, because the Screwball itself is very sweet. If you've got something that's more of a peanut buttery whiskey, that's not like, it's really like, I don't know. The best way I can describe it is if you actually took a spoon of peanut butter and you literally like stuck it on your tongue, like that's a peanutty taste. The Screwball is more like taking a spoonful of Reese's peanut butter and sticking it on your tongue. It's very sugary. So if you don't want a lot of sugar to it, I would say definitely just a shot will probably do you good with the Hershey's porter, the Yuengling Hershey's porter. But if you want more sugar, then I would add a little more to it. Or if you don't want any of that sugar taste, I would find a very peanutty whiskey. But yeah,
I don't know if they have a very peanutty whiskey. Screwball was the first one to come out with the peanut butter whiskey.
So the one that I'd have to say so far, and this is probably where it's going to be hard, it's made by the St. Augustine Citygate Distillery, and it's called it's just peanut butter whiskey. But
I looked that up, and that shit, to get outside of where the fuck you're at in Florida, it was super fucking expensive.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of distribution, and I mean, there's other brands like Sheepdog and Blind Squirrel, but I've never tried either one of those. I've only tried Screwball and Citygate. But I will say the nice thing about Citygate is it's very peanutty as compared to a very sugary flavor.
Now, I have to ask before we get off of this entire alcohol section, because I know I'm going to ask, and I'm exceedingly disappointed in Cecil for not asking this up front. So, Trevor, you're up in Canada. Have you ever had a puppers?
A puppers? Oh, no. No, I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. I really feel like I should. What is a puppers?
No. I wouldn't say that's something you need to know, because I don't think that's necessarily y'all's territory, province. Yeah.
Dude, I was trying not to go with the like blatantly Canadian things. I was just trying to like, hey, let's just go smooth here. What he's referring to is from the show Letterkenny. There was a beer called Puppers, and they actually turned it from a beer on the show to an actual beer that they brewed.
No. It was a beer before the show.
Before. Yeah, Gus and Brew and Puppers they existed beforehand. They were just like one of the, I guess they were like a sponsor of some sort, or I forget the actor's name. He's Jared. I think it's Jared.
The guy who plays
something.
Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne. It's Jared, isn't it?
All I remember
so Trevor, have you seen Letterkenny?
Seen Letterkenny? Yeah. The beer reference I didn't catch. I'm running out to the store right after this is done. That sounds hilarious. I gotta try it.
Please let us know if we can get some.
Man, the problem, I grew up in small town Canada, so like watching that show is kind of like painful as far as like, oh yeah, that does happen a lot. Or that's too close to home. I don't like watching this. So it's unfortunately spot on sometimes. And I don't know if it's a Canadian thing where any slightly successful Canadian show seems to spawn their own whiskey or beer or like some other thing. There was like a show they had Schitt's Creek, which immediately came out with a bunch of wines and like I think even a vodka. There was a semi-famous Instagram comedian, and he just released a butter tart whiskey. So it seems like as soon as any Canadian gets any amount of notoriety, it's like, oh, got to put out alcohol. Let's go. Got to cash in.
I'm surprisingly very okay with this.
Yeah, like when's Linus Tech Tics coming out with fucking whiskey?
But they already got one. You haven't had it?
Canadian?
No, I haven't had their fucking whiskey. Now I'm gonna go on there and harass Linus on his fucking online accounts.
I hope it has some sort of like it has like each one comes with a graphic card or like some sort of fan on the side of it. Like I'd like to see some tie-in.
Hey, if it comes with a graphic card, I'm down. As long as it's not one of those old 6800 GT 6800 GTs from like 98.
Dude, fuck you. I have one sitting in a box literally right over there.
Dude, so do I. I still have it. If I ever get a car, if I ever get a motherboard to run it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, so each bottle costs like $4,000. It's inside of the whiskey. After you're done drinking, you got to put in some rice, and hopefully it works.
I would be down for that.
It'd be a pretty sweet way to sell graphic cards. You have to
it's alcohol, so it should be all right.
Yeah, right. I mean, all the sugar and stuff in it, we don't care about that. I mean, if it's vodka,
candy coating, it's fine.
If it's Devil Springs, I think we're good. Or Everclear. I'm pretty confident you could soak anything in Everclear and it's still going to work, except yourself. That won't work.
Well, see, there's a new version of liquid cooling where it's like the liquid in it is a whiskey, and you just have to kind of every now and then top it up. So after it's done cooling it,
No, Damok would never have a running computer. His computer would always be drained.
True fucking story.
Why are you like computer on fire? Oh, I was thirsty.
Yeah. Hey, Damok, we're gonna play some something. You want to join in? Nah, my computer. I gotta get more whiskey for my computer. What do you mean more whiskey for your computer? What happened to the last 3 bottles? Yeah, I gotta get more.
So going off of famous TV shows. Okay, so here's a cocktail that I think we should eventually try on this show. It's from Archer, the TV series, The Green Russians.
Had them. Good.
Absinthe, vodka, and heavy cream.
Yeah, they're good. The absinthe flavor gets buried under the heavy cream entirely. And then the vodka taste gets muted a little bit. You have to like a heavy cream flavor. But overall, the absinthe adds a little bit of that black licorice type taste, but very, very mild. It's like the tail end of, black licorice after you've swallowed it 20 minutes ago. And, you still get that taste at the after effect. But yeah, it's pretty good, dude. I've tried everything on fucking Archer because, was it Bloody Mary, Full of Grace, Blessed be thy name. The fuck is his prayer for alcohol and all that? It's pretty good.
Okay.
All right. Well, State of Games. State of Games is where we talk about what we've been playing for the past week, or we just pontificate on how we feel gaming is today. So, because we got a new guy here, Trever, what's your State of Games, man?
Yeah, so there's been 2. So I recently just, and they're nothing new, unfortunately. So hopefully that's not the purpose of this part of the show. But had finally finished Hades, which it's honestly become one of my favorite games. Like just roguelites have never really been my type of thing, but the way Supergiant Game put this one together, it was just fantastic. I've never enjoyed dying so much in a game. And I'm a sucker for anything Greek mythology, that type of stuff. So really well put together, and it's super cheap these days. Like if you want to even like dip in, like you usually find it for like $12 on the Epic Store, or Steam, or wherever else you'd find it. So thoroughly enjoyed it. And then went kind of retro recently with playing Final Fantasy 12.
Nice.
Kind of had a feeling for almost like a game on autopilot. So I really wanted a game that could work something crazy. So I wanted something I could just turn my brain off. And the combat system of Final Fantasy 12 is really, you just set up a list of instructions for all you guys to do. They call them gambits. You just blast through the world, and they just kind of take care of it themselves. Almost kind of like MMO style, but just offline. And it's old comfort food. I don't really need to read anything or think. It's just kind of blast through, brain off, great relaxation. So revisiting a bit of a classic. It showed up on the Xbox Game Pass, so it was an easy kind of download and jump back into it. So that's been my week, this one.
Very nice. What about you, D? What's your State of Games there, man?
spending a lot of time with my little guy since he was homesick. I was watching him, so we played a bunch. Getting close to Halloween, Luigi's Mansion 3. We were playing together. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we played that.
Amazing.
As far as retro goes, because I love the old school. I got him into on the NES Final Fantasy 1. He's been playing that and loving it.
Holy hell!
So
that's a throwback.
Yeah, I pulled up the old NES, popped that in, and he's been sitting there. He was just playing that for days, just loving it. So he's gotten to the elf city, and he's been cruising around in a little ship and fighting sea monsters. So he's happy as can be.
Awesome.
So nothing too crazy, just pretty much playing, paying attention to him and just playing the games with him. So
must be a good reader if he's all those like text dialogues flying through if he's trying to like figure out what to do. Like that's I always thought that was kind of a cool part with like getting kids into those older role-playing games. They forces them to read if they want to know what the heck's going on.
Yeah, he's wicked smart for his age. He's really really good at reading, and he's actually really good at math. So
nice. Yeah, that's one of the things I loved about the old school games is that there was no fancy talking, there was no voiceovers. It was all you had to read everything on the screen if you wanted to know half of what was going on. And then when you got the really bad Japanese translations and you're trying to go, what exactly did they just say? I don't think they meant to say you're gonna smurf your mother. I don't think they got that word right. I think they meant something else.
Next
like
scene. Oh, they did. Oh.
yeah. And years later, the final translation. Oh, you were going to smurf your mother. Oh, geez. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Alan God just chimes in. He doesn't have that issue because he doesn't have to worry about translations. What about you, Blue? What's your state of games there, man?
So this Trevor, this Hades game, I haven't heard of it, so I decided to watch the trailer while you all were yakking away, and the enjoyment of the dying thing, like so the guy, he's like some like teenage looking or some like young adult looking guy, and he comes out of this pool of blood after dying, and he like walks up the stairs and he says, "All right, don't mind me, carry on." I thought that was hilarious. But anywho, so my state of games, Pokemon Go on the mobile. I've been actually I logged in now just to check what the actual the name of it was, but it's Misunderstanding or Misunderstood Mischief. So I'm trying to get through that. I'm at the last point that they have so far. I'm in step 12. We'll see when the next ones come out, but I finished the other minor ones that they had, just catching all the ghosts. Like, oh God, I've never gotten annoyed of catching so many dang ghost Pokemon and so many dark Pokemon. But I was glad they didn't do Spirit Bomb this time. Spirit Bomb this time. I feel like they did that too many years in a row. But catching all the new ghost Pokemon has been pretty fun doing that. And then also I got into, so one of my buddies I haven't talked to in a while, I got a chance to catch up with him this past Saturday. So I was like, yeah, let's play some video games together. And I was like going through, this is what I've got. And he's like, do you have Game Pass? I was like, yeah, I think so. And we're playing on PC. And then, of course, I come to find out later this game's crossplay. So I could have played it on the console with them. But I played Back for Blood, which I'm kind of surprised. I'm not, as we all know, I'm not one for the horror genre. I'm a scaredy cat, but I'd have to say that this was definitely not that. I would say it's more like a horde mode or a firefight for Halo ODST fans. So it was definitely more of like you get overwhelmed, but it's not like, bah! The jump scares, none of that. So I've been enjoying that, playing through with them, picking up weapons through along the way, upgrading them. What did we get to? We got to the bar level. They gotta get someone. They gotta bring someone in, and they need to distract the zombies. So they're like, go to a bar and hit the jukebox. And I wish I could remember the name of the song. But the level was named after an 80s rock tune. I think they were like a hair band or something. Like, like they have like the really like wild hair.
Now, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you describe it a little bit more? What do you mean by hair band?
So,
maybe hum a verse.
Yeah, something. Fudge. I wish I could remember the name of the darn song. I can't remember it because they didn't use that song. And I literally had the song queued up. That was the name of the level, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to listen to this. And one of the guys was like, and this guy was very interesting. He was like very like monotone, very like serious. He was like, yeah, you're not going to want to do that because you're going to have a hard time hearing the zombies. And I was like, yeah, good point. So I like turned it off. But
the jukebox you're talking about, the first time me and Cecil did it, it played Motorhead's The Ace of Spades, which I fucking love that song, right? So I looked it up for you, Blue. It has a big fucking list of songs it plays.
Yeah, but what's the name of the level? The level, it was named after a rock song. That's the one I'm getting at. Because the one that for us, yeah, the level is called something.
Ballroom Blitz.
Ballroom Blitz. That's what it is.
It's Barroom Blitz,
not Ballroom Blitz. The name of the song is Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah, so I made that connection. I was like, all right, let's listen to Ballroom Blitz, and I like had it queued up. We ended up listening to a version of Ramajan's Black Betty instead. And that was just so much fun. And it's like you get covered in blood anytime you kill these guys. Like you're just like coated in this stuff. And I never played a Left 4 Dead game in my life, but I definitely like this version of the game. It's not jump scary. It's very much on the power side. So I'd have to say, I feel like watching a lot of the Resident Evil survival horror games, I feel like you're very weak. You're very much like not in control to like you get to Resident Evil like 5 or 6, you become more like shooter gunner. And then there's like my favorite style of horror games, and I'll wrap this up real quick, is like Doom. Rip and tear. You are a god, you are powerful, and you can shred through fear. And I like that aspect. And I feel like Left 4 Dead, not Left 4 Dead, but Back 4 Blood leans more towards that like powerful, not like the weak and helpless. Oh my God, I might make it through. It's like, no. We're going to get through and we're going to kill a lot of things. So I highly suggest the game to anyone out there. It's Game Pass right now. I think I got it on the PC. It was $1. So, or if you've already got it, and if you don't have it and you want to buy it, I think it's $60, but I definitely say it's worth giving it a try and play with some friends, because we had a blast with 3 to 4 of us.
And I want to point out that if you just listen to all of Blue's spiel, it's obvious he was not playing it on veteran or higher.
Neither were we. Don't fucking lie.
No, we tried.
I don't know what we were on. But
but the Black Betty song is by Spiderbait on that one.
Okay.
There's I'll post a link, dude, but it's Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, Howlin' Wolf, Evil is going on, Spiderbait, Black Betty, Daniel Murray, Anthony, Donato, Eric, Cerna does The Devil Inside, Dick Dale's...
Wait, Devil Inside?
Yeah, The Devil Inside.
Not Slipknot, Devil Inside.
Oh, dang.
No, not Slipknot. I'm Leaving You, Baby... with Luther, Guitar Jr. Johnson, The Hives, Tick Tick Boom, Johnny Cash, Rusty Cage, The Dead South, In Hell, I'll Be Good Company, Mr. Airplane Man, Sun Sinking Low, A Pretty Mess, Empty Streets, Clutch, Electric Worry, Robert Johnson, Crossroad Blues, Muddy Waters, My Home is in the Delta, Misfits, All Hell Break Loose, and then Motorhead, Ace of Spades. So if you play that level, it's a lot of fun because those are good, high intensity, upbeat songs to smash fucking zombies with, as you were just, all you hear is gunfire and baseball bats cracking skulls.
Who'd you say did Black Betty again?
Spiderbait.
Okay, so they did a cover of it then, because it was originally by Ram Jam.
That's right. Ram Jam's the original one.
Yeah, Ram Jam.
I actually did not know that there was a cycle of songs in that, because the first time we played it, I actually had all of my audio muted because I was doing the podcast and I was doing my backup recording. So I couldn't have the audio going, because then it would record that audio instead of you guys. So I never knew that it played the Ace of Spades. So when you're like, oh, it's playing the Ace of Spades, I'm like, oh, damn. Well, next time I play it, I'll have to listen. And we played it again. And I was listening. I'm like, this doesn't sound like the Ace of Spades, but maybe we're at a different part in the song and I just don't recognize it or something. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I know the Ace of Spades. But now that I know that it's got a rotating list of songs that go in it, that makes me want to play. And that's good because it's guaranteed that you're going to go back and play these levels over again. So that it gives it a little bit more of a replay value that you don't have to be stuck with the same song over and over. I mean, granted, if Ace of Spades played over and over, I would probably never get bored of that.
No, it was really, really good. I remember when we went back, I was expecting to hear Ace of Spades as the second song. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is great to kill zombies to. And it wasn't. But I was like, I'm still enjoying these songs. This is pretty good. I had no idea there was a list of rotating songs until Blue brought it up.
Yeah, neither did I. That's cool. That makes me want to go back and play some more because that's a fun game. And knowing that you play Back for Blood, Blue, you got to come and play with us. The whole last episode was literally us being terrified. Well, me getting terrified while playing Back for Blood because you say there's no jump scares, but every time I turned around, there was something ready to freaking rip my head off and scaring the crap out of me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it depends. Like we were like talking, chit-chatting, like it was very light, but it's not like a horror game.
Dude, we were talking and chit-chatting and doing a podcast, and I still got the crap scared out of me. Go listen.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's pretty funny. Especially when I come around, I'm like, what the smeg is that? You know.
Hey, does Blue Shark like photography?
No, I'm not going to play Fatal Frame. I've seen that.
Oh, God,
I've seen it. I watched Smokaloke play that once, and I was just like, this is a really odd premise. But yeah, this is really creepy, dude. Like, because if you ask me, so like Saw, Jason, Freddy Krueger, they aren't scary. No. What's really scary is when you read or watch like a ghost story. I mean, I don't think 13 Ghosts is a ghost story. For those of you who've seen that, I've seen the majority of that movie, but that's more horror. No. What's really scary about ghost stories is after the movie's over or after you close the book, you have that sense of eeriness that there's something around you or there's something that could be there. It's just, it's like hard to shake.
No.
Like,
you want scary? Have a 10-year-old girl dressed as a ballerina with a dribble of blood coming out of her eye like she's been lobotomized, sit there in monotone, wave like this at you and go, do you want candy? The doctor can give you candy. Follow me. That's terrifying. And I can guarantee you that's terrifying because we had people who literally walked up, wanted to go through the damn haunted house, and they turned around and turned tail as soon as they saw her.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah, that was really freaking creepy. Well, I'll go to my state of games since Damok's preoccupied at the moment. My state of games, I've actually been playing a bunch. I've been trying to get back into gaming because I took a very, very long hiatus. I had school, I had a new job, yada, yada, yada. I'm actually going to a new job again here in December. That's a long story. But I've been playing a bunch of games. Back for Blood, we actually were playing that last week. I continued on playing it a little bit later. I think we were playing last night, Damok. Destiny 2, I've been keeping my dailies and stuff up in Destiny 2. Hopefully, actually, I'm going to be getting a raid going tomorrow. So I'm really excited because I haven't done the Vault of Glass in forever. And they ported it over to Destiny 2, so I'm really excited to play the Vault of Glass again. I want to get Terraria going. I haven't. There's actually a crossover right now for Don't Starve and Terraria. Super excited to go play that. I haven't done that yet. I might actually do that right after we get done with this podcast, to be honest. Graveyard Keeper. I jumped back into Graveyard Keeper because, it's getting that time of year. I love me some Graveyard Keeper. So I'm playing a bunch of that as well. And what the hell was I playing on the Switch? Oh, Shazmat. I forgot what I was playing on the Switch. I was playing it.
You're usually playing
Monday.
Stardew Valley.
No, it wasn't Stardew Valley. It was Monday night.
Metroid Dread is out.
No,
That's got a horror theme.
We're going to be talking about Metroid Dread later. God dang it. Oh, it'll come to me. It'll probably come to me midway in the show. I'll be like, it was this! And I'll freaking jump it out there. But yeah, I've been jumping through. There's actually a bunch of games that I want to get into, and I'm really excited. Square has been releasing a bunch of retro games, not only the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, they've also released ActRaiser Remastered. I think it was Square. ActRaiser Remastered, and I watched a person play that. I was super impressed. It looks good. It feels just like the old ActRaiser, as well as they've added a little bit more of like a city defense, like almost a tower defense game portion of it, which I really thought worked well with the way the game played. So super, super excited about getting that and putting that on the list.
They also added a couple levels to it and some more music too. They've fleshed up the music as well. I actually bought it. It's wicked good so far.
Yeah, I've got another guy who's literally like my retro. Besides D, he's my retro Square liaison. He pretty much keeps me informed on all, like anything. Like, I swear to God, the CEO of Square can fart and I get a text going, "Hey dude, it smelled like candy." Like, that's this guy. So like he got through, he got ActRaiser, he played right through it. He's like, "You've got to get this. It's worth playing. Totally worth it. Go get it." And I'm like, yes. Gonna do it. I just got so much to get through. Oh, and I have been playing this is one I forgot, the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. Now the Dark Pictures, I don't know if you guys, I'm pretty sure Man of Medan, Little Hope, you guys played them at all? Yes, no. Okay, so do you guys remember Until Dawn for the PlayStation 4? Okay, so yes. Same company, I think it's Supermassive Games, they did a Dark Pictures anthology where they're like $30 or $40 a pop for brand new, but you wait for them to go on sale, you probably get for under 20 easy enough. But it's the Dark Picture anthology, and they are, if you remember the old school movies that were like little like amalgamations of stories, like the Black Cat, or there's a bunch of Halloween stories. I'm trying to remember them. Like Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side. That was it. They were just like anthologies of stories. Like they tell one and then they tell another and they tell another. Well, the Dark Picture anthology is basically doing the same thing. They're doing like these, and they're fairly short games. You can usually get through them in about 10 to 15 hours a piece, but they've got a lot of replay value because each decision that you do has different branches that happen. So, you can either have everybody live, nobody live, some people live, and there's different kind of, it's the same story beginning to end. The twist at the end or the overarching story is still the same thing. It's just whether your characters make it out alive or not. But the latest one that there was released back in October 16th, I believe, was called House of Ashes. And I'm really enjoying it. So Little Hope, I didn't enjoy until I got to the end, and then I got the twist, and then all of a sudden everything made sense. Because as I was playing it, I was like, God, this isn't really making sense. I don't understand why this person's doing this or why I'm going down this path. But then once I got to the end, all of a sudden it was like, holy crap, that makes total sense. Now I understand. And I went back and played it again. Like it took me 2 months to play and beat the game. And granted, they're only like 10 or 15 hour games. It took me 2 months to finally beat that game. I beat it the next day. I played it all the way through again to beat it again because I was like, oh, that makes much more sense. House of Ashes is, it takes place in the Middle East. You are a military unit, and you get dropped into oh God, I wish Vintage was here, because I've already forgotten the name of the ancient culture. It's not Sanskrit. It's not what's the
Sumerians?
Sumerian. That's it. It's Sumerian. So
you're welcome.
Thank you. So you drop down to this old Sumerian like temple, and things start to unlock. The only thing, and I'm hoping that it progresses a little less predictively than I think it is, but they show in Man of Medan and Little Hope, they didn't show the monster until farther into the game. Like, you were deep into the game before you really started seeing the monsters. But in House of Ashes, Is there a bug crawl? There's a bug crawling on my camera.
Dude, I was like, what the fuck is that?
Speaking of horror shit.
That was so
Holy crap. Did you see that?
Dude, you remember, you remember the show Creep Show?
Holy crap.
Wait. Isn't this how House
Amityville
Horror starts?
Amityville Horror has something like that too.
I don't
Isn't
even
this
know
how
what
that
type
starts?
of bug that is. I got to take a picture of this, guys, and show it to you. I don't even know what type of bug this is. This is just some weird, like, flat. It's probably going to try to kill me here in a second.
Ladies
Oh, dude,
and
you have to
gentlemen,
send a picture of the bug. I got Flightless right here.
Probably a stink bug.
This is when
No, it doesn't look like. Well,
the
maybe it's a
G.N.A.
stink bug.
podcast was permanently taken off air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
put it in
Cecil
recording
was
chat.
never heard from again.
yeah. Cecil was never heard from again because this bug. Man, that was totally weird. I was like sitting there watching my camera, like, what the hell is that black spot on my camera? All of a sudden, I'm like, God, I was like, that happened in House of Ashes where the things crawled across the camera. I'm like, oh crap, it's really happening. This is it, guys. This is it.
And of all the topics you'd be talking about when it happened, too, it's just like,
It was,
oh my God, it's happening. How
That
real
was
is this
super creepy.
game?
yeah, that was super creepy. Here, I'll post it.
Insects have a sense of humor. They're like, watch this. We're going to freak this fucker out.
Where did you
Right?
post the picture?
I just put it in lounge, I think. Yeah, I put it in lounge. Hold on, check. You gotta check this bug out. Unless I just put it in
Dude, what?
announcements.
I don't
Like,
know.
that's not a fucking... Dude, you have, like, living mold.
Yeah.
No, dude, that thing is crawling. Oh, now it's gone. Oh shit, where'd it go?
Dude, it's a
You
move?
had a chance to kill
Yeah,
it,
it
and
moves. It crawled across
have
the
to get
damn
out of the-
camera.
You have to get out of the house.
That's...
Cecil,
Dude, you need to burn down your house now. You're scared of 8mm
that's
films in your
the thing to do.
basement? No. You're fucked, dude. That's live mold. You're fucked. Get out now. Burn it.
wait, you said mold? Uh-oh, Biohazard, Resident Evil.
No, it's not mold. It's Last of Us, man. That's it. Like, this thing is a spore. It's gonna infect me. My brain is gonna come out of the skull. Like, it's gonna be kaleidoscopes or whatever the hell those things are. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea what the flip that is, but that looks scary.
Right? And it's crawling across my damn camera. All right. D, like, you are getting violently aggressive right now, but I can't hear a word you're saying.
Fucking mic mute. I had my mute on. I was saying is that was the thing from it was the mold from Last of Us. I was like, it normally it's a real thing and infects ants, but now it's evolved to fuck up Cecil, and the rest of us are going to be with.
Yeah, patient zero right here, guys.
So I was trying to say, I was pointing and flailing, but Mike Mute was like, "Nah, I got you defeated, bro."
But anyways, House of Ashes, Supermassive Games. I bought every game that they've done. I bought Until Dawn. I bought all the anthologies. I love them. I love that the Dark Picture anthologies are multiplayer, not only local like couch multiplayer, but they're also multiplayer for if you've got it and I got it, we can connect together, make the decisions of different characters individually in the game. So super fun game, really horrifying. Not for kids though, unfortunately. So it's kind of a after midnight or after they go to bed thing, or when they're over at their grandparents, something like that. But that is my state of games. Sorry I took so long there. That bug freaked me out. Damok, what's your state of games, man?
Dude, that bug is still freaking me out because it looks like in that picture it fucked 3 of the holes in your camera and now you have babies in there. Look at it. It's not right. You guys have seen that too, right?
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. I'm not going to lie. And that I don't know where it's gone is even kind of more startling. Because
that's either one really fucked up spider with the biggest egg sac I've ever seen in you are so screwed, or you need to burn down your house. Either way, dude, just burn your house down. It
is Halloween, and I mean, and now you've got the funky bug monster fucking with you. So it's like, I'm sorry, Cecil, it's your time's up, man.
You had a good run.
It's been a good run.
Good run, man.
I mean, as long as I can at least edit this episode and get it out before I die, then we can be 292. That's a good round number.
Yeah, dude, you be
or
all right.
we're all gonna find some 8mm film to finish in our fucking attics.
We don't need to. That bug is that is scarier than finding 8mm film in your fucking basement.
Okay, look, no, nothing is scarier than finding 8mm film in my attic. Because I don't have a basement. I've got a crawl space. And I'm telling you all right now, this is not a joke. I find a box with an 8mm film in it that are all labeled home videos. I don't care who's in this house. I'm walking out, throwing the match behind me, and I've dumped gas the whole way. I'm not even questioning it. I'm living on the street because you know what? He's only going to kill me when I go back and move to a different house. If I'm living on the street, I'm homeless, I've got a loophole.
There's a movie to watch for this. There's a movie to watch.
Well, let's. My concern is the bug. If that is really the Last of Us mold, ammo is way too expensive right now for that to be breaking out. Way too expensive.
Well, there's a good thing about being a paranoid alcoholic, former military dude. My house is, a good place to come for ammo.
All right, I'll go there first then.
State of games. Yes. But no, but yes. But I'm really upset right now, so I don't even know if I want to talk about the games that I fucked up really bad because I was half paying attention to things and now I'm all... So I played Back 4 Blood, which, I think Cecil actually wanted to discuss that later in the show, but it is what it is. It's an interesting game, Blue. I'm glad you're playing it, but why the fuck are you not saying... Hey, dickheads, we're playing fucking Back 4 Blood. You should join us because it's kind of hard finding 4 people or even finding one random. And I don't know if it's because we're so at the beginning of the game and everybody's at the end of the game or what, but yeah. So it was fun. It's not a great game in my opinion, but I don't care about shooters anymore. They're fun, but take it or leave it. Doesn't bother me. It's on Game Pass. I pay for Game Pass. When it leaves Game Pass, I won't play it anymore. Aside from that, I'm sorry, you can hear Odin in the background. He is just meowing his fucking head off and having a good time. He's crazy. Odin, stop! I played more Diablo 2 Resurrected because that's all I've been playing. I telework. And I'm in a hurry up and wait situation. So I'm hurry up and waiting, playing Diablo 2 Magic Find running. And then I fucked up really bad because I watched this cool video I got really excited for and I respect my sorceress. And I missed out on a very important fucking skill and didn't put any points into it. And she's pretty useless. So I am just kind of staring at my computer screen, kicking myself in the nuts. Because I've already used all 3 respecs, and I can't kill any of the big bosses to collect any of their essence, and everybody wants a lot of fucking high-end runes for the essence, which I can't farm because I fucked my sorceress. Yes.
Is it safe to say your sorceress is an analog for how you're doing on your job right now? Like,
I don't know. I'm doing great on the job, dude.
Well, you said you're doing nothing. You said you feel useless.
Yeah, well, I am. Yeah, fuck.
I love you, Damok. Man, I got all the
I love you. I love you too, but god damn it. I was like, yeah, no, I didn't put 2 and 2 together there. But yes, I am useless, and so is my source. And yeah, here we go. Until I can get everything sorted, we're both going to be useless, and I can't even play Diablo 2 right now for any enjoyment.
Well, the first topic that we had to nail into tonight was actually more of it's kind of a lead-in topic. There's something that's going on in Destiny 2 that kind of sparked my interest of I'm curious what you guys think. There's a glitch that came out in Destiny 2 that Bungie is super anal about, they're getting crazy about. The glitch itself is if you put your game in windowed mode and you hold your cursor over the maximize button for 5 seconds and then pop super, you just puke out energy orbs or light orbs, which allow other people to pick them up and get their super back and yada, yada, yada. Not a super big deal in PvE, but in PvP, having access to your super that quick could be a really big, it could be a game changer. And of course, Bungie came out and they're like, "Hey, we're going to fix this." But until they fix it, until they can patch it out, what they've been doing is, and I'm going by articles I'm reading and Reddit posts I'm reading, and hearsay through the Destiny community, so you got to take this with a grain of salt. But what I'm hearing is that Bungie is just banning people if they're found to use this exploit, which kind of like it sparks something in me of like, well, is that fair? And that's kind of like really more where like the topic kind of was sparking in my head of like, is that a fair response to there's a glitch in a game? I mean, and it's obviously a glitch. Nobody programmed in the game, window your game, hold your mouse cursor over the maximize button for 5 seconds and then pop super, and that's going to puke orbs. Like nobody said, yeah, that's going to be a logical thing. Let's do that. It's an obvious glitch. But I guess, do you think Bungie's going too far with it? Let's just say for argument's sake that they are banning people. Do you feel Bungie's going too far by banning people for using this glitch? I mean, it's not a glitch that you run into like accidentally. It's not like I accidentally did this and sorry, Bungie, I didn't mean to. It's not like the GTA money glitch where all of a sudden you'd walk around, somebody throw 10 million at you and you're like, how the fuck do I have 10 million? What do you got, D?
I think so. I think they're going a little overboard because it is a glitch in the game. It's not like they're hacking and cheating the game, like adding in a cheat where you get an aim bot. And it's they got to fix it, And I mean, people are going to play around with it. They find a new glitch, and I mean, it's like you go and start just big hammer banning everybody. It's like, are they cheating in a big competition, or are they just playing with each other and saying, hey, look, let's play around with this glitch. It's a cool glitch. I mean, there's a lot of context to it. I mean, you can't just go around banning people for something that you broke in your own game. You know what I mean? That's my take.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed to recall, it might have been a year or two ago, I was reading about it where there was a glitch and it just ended up being one of the funnest moments in Destiny that people had for some time. It was something like a pistol was super overpowered and just everybody in the game used the pistol and it was crazy and dumb and everybody was just laughing and it was amazing. So it came from a saying like, just, it was a bug, it's a mistake. Sorry, guys. And it seems like you have two routes to go and it's like, this is a video game, everybody's just trying to have a great time. This one's kind of silly. Like, who wants to have all your supers all the time? Let's do it. We're all Super Saiyans. Now let's go for it. And you just roll with it. Like, all right, guys, here it is. Like, enjoy it for a couple months, but it's going to be gone. And then it's almost like they could then, have some sort of special armor you get if you do it, or a banner, just to own it in a different way. So as opposed to trying to hide it and then punish people for enjoying themselves using it, like, lean into it. Well, we made a mistake. This is hilarious. Have some fun, but we'll patch it next time. Don't worry about it.
So you mean kind of like if you remember the loot cave back in Destiny 1, where you had the loot cave and literally people just lined up to shoot things that came out of it. And then eventually they just made fun of it later on. Like, yeah, we patched it out, but now we're going to make fun of it by making this event happen in the loot cave. That type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. think of anybody who was in part of that. Like, they can think back like happily, like, oh, that was a silly time. That was kind of fun. It becomes part of the lore and so it becomes a joyous memory as opposed to this awful event where they're banning folks.
What you got, Blue?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Trevor and D on this. Like, this shouldn't be a bannable offense. It should be a bannable offense for one game mode and one game only. Trials of Osiris. That's it. That is the most competitive, sweaty game mode ever, and that would ruin everything. Like, you're really trying hard to like get somewhere, to get your wins. Like, that is a competition level mode. Everything else to me is unranked in its style. I mean, it's been a while since I've gotten into Destiny. It's probably been a year since I've played, so correct me on this if I'm wrong, but a lot of this stuff really feels like an unranked game mode, except for Osiris. Osiris is a sweaty, ranked game mode, very competitive, and this should be like, hey, you did that, you're banned for 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 if you really want to do that, but everything else, it should just be like, let them have fun. It's like rockets on crack in Halo. Let's up the movement speed and like let's take out some gravity and let's just laugh as we all like try to kill each other. Like, that's all it is, and it's fun. And if people want to get all butthurt about it because like, oh, I get into competitive, like, you're taking the game too seriously. Bring that competitive edge to Trials of Osiris. Realize this is a bug.
Bungie's going to fix this. This isn't something Bungie's going to leave in the game. This isn't a part of the permanent game. They are going to fix this. How long it takes them, we don't know. I don't even know if they know how long it's going to take to fix this. But like in the meantime, like banning people because you guys slipped up isn't something that necessarily should be passed on to the gamers. Like, yeah, people find about exploits and they use them like the loot cave. Too bad, guys. You shouldn't have put a spawn area there. You shouldn't have made it so easy for this to happen. Like, you guys goofed and it happens, and it doesn't. That's not PvP isn't going to break the game if people get their supers. You're going to break the game with Trials of Osiris because that's a lot of content, a lot of weapons, a lot of armor that's hidden behind a wall, kind of like a raid. So that's when I can see that being an issue. Yeah, the raid, sure. That could change things for some people. That's PvE. And then you guys already nerf stuff a little bit into PvP. I feel like a lot of the PvE stuff isn't as strong as like the Trials of Osiris stuff is. So yeah, this is just a little excessive on Bungie's part.
What you got, Damok?
So I had to actually read about this a little bit more, and from Forbes to Shack News to Reddit to PC Gamer, they are not banning players yet. They are threatening to ban players across the board. Bungie has known about the glitch for over a year now. It's not something that they can patch out easily. They say coming December, the new patch is going to be a new client. But they have implemented a rutabaga error code. And what happens is if you perform the glitch, you get disconnected from the game and you get an email. Receive the error enough times and they face escalating restrictions across the board, but no one has been directly banned as of yet. And that's everybody reporting, oh, ban this, ban that. Also, it's pretty fucking wild. So the min-match glitch, you have to use a Titan Ward of Dawn super or a Warlock's Well of Radiance in the Windows mode, like he was saying. And then, yeah, those automatically generate those super orbs or orbs of power. But this forces it to just puke them, like Cecil was saying, like way more. But it doesn't only just generate orbs, but it severely lags the game for everyone else except for the person puking the orbs, so that he can run around in PvP and kill the other team as they are completely lagged out. And in PvE, you can complete the fucking quest and or raid while the boss, because it lags out PVM as well. So people are just rushing through and doing it. Dude, super fucking interesting. But they have not currently banned any players. They're threatening escalating restrictions, and they've already implemented an error code that disconnects you from the game, and you get a warning when you do it.
All right. So I can disprove a couple of things there. One is I actually did the glitch right before the show, and it did not disconnect me. I did not get a rutabaga. So
really, because they're all reporting that now.
I can tell you that is not 100%. The second thing is that if you go through Reddit, I actually went through Reddit yesterday and the day before, and you can find people complaining left and right. Now you got to take it with a grain of salt because it is Reddit and people are just trying to get karma. But I got to figure out of like the 2-3 dozen posts that I saw about them themselves getting banned, showing posts of them getting banned and them not being able to log in. I got to assume that at least one of them is correct. So, I mean, possibly even more.
It's interesting because all of these titles for these articles are, Destiny 2 game-breaking glitch surfaces, Bungie starts handing out bans. And when I read the article, they call it, the error code is called rutabaga. Mm-hmm. And it disconnects you supposedly as soon as you do the glitch. That's what everybody's reporting as of the 24th of October is when people started fucking doing it. Because that's when the YouTube video came out or whatever. So 24 October, And they're saying you get a rutabaga error. If you get it too many times, they send you warning emails. But not once do any of these things in here say that anybody has been banned directly, including up to today. So I don't know. But Reddit is Reddit. I pushed on Reddit for karma.
I was gonna say, and I say that out of the number of posts I've read, I've got to say that there's got to be some validity to it. But back to something that you said, Blue, about things not being ranked. So Elo is a huge thing on Destiny, and whatever game mode that you play, whether it be Crucible or Trials of Osiris, it ups and lowers your elo significantly. If you get major wins, like if your super's maxed out and you get more and more wins or more kills, your elo raises and lowers. And the matches that you get thrown into are dependent on that elo. One of the things that they've already, I mean, Bungie's come out and said it several times. It's been in Destiny and Destiny 2 that your PvP matches are ranked by however well you're doing, so that you don't get thrown into a match where you're going against people who have a 15-1 KD. You know, you're going against people who, like, if you're a 1-to-1, you're going against other people that are closer to where you are. So on the flip side, you participate in this glitch, your elo gets artificially inflated. You're eventually going to hurt yourself by being dumped into games that are harder, that you physically can't, like, once the glitch gets fixed, that you physically can't compete in. And then you're basically going to be suffering in PvP, working your way down. Now, PvE, that's a completely different story. Personally, honestly, if there's a glitch and you can use it in PvE, I say all four, go ahead. But I think this has got so much kind of like light shone on it, and Bungie is kind of getting so hardcore about it, whether they're doing bans, rutabaga errors, or whatever. I think it's because this glitch is specifically designed in PvP and you can run it. One of the weapons I was thinking about,
do it in PVM though, PVE, PVM, depending on what you want to call it. But yeah, and it lags out the server.
Yeah,
Destiny 2 is a weird game. It's client side but server side at the same time, and you can lag out the server side, but it's client side fucking mobs and go through. What is the Telesto?
Telesto? That's the Needler. It's a Halo Needler. It's
because that's rifle. Still breaking the game all the time, and there's a bunch of glitches with that.
That's been breaking the game since the game was released. I mean, my God, they will never be able to fix Telesto.
Yeah, everybody says that, you know, all the articles I'm doing, they're like, hey, look, finally, there's another major glitch in Destiny 2 that's not based around Telesto. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
But there is the one thing that you were talking about, Trevor, where you were talking about a hand cannon. I don't remember a hand cannon being the issue, but I remember there was a trace rifle called the Prometheus Lens. And literally, you would go into any match, and it was laser tag. Everybody had Prometheus Lens. You would walk in, and all you had to do was hit the beam on, and whoever could touch the other person with their beam first, they won. Like, boom, you're dead.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly the one. And the review of it was so glowing. And this was like the reporter, or is on some game blog, and they were a hardcore Destiny fan, and they're saying they have never had as much fun in their life.
Oh God,
as those matches, because it was just Star Wars nonsense beams, like everyone just having an absolute silly blast, laughing their heads off, and they came and corrected. You're like, damn, why not just make it a secret mode or something? Because that sounds amazing. People are having fun in your game. Stop it.
Yeah,
fix this.
And Prometheus Lens, when they patched that, I mean, I remember getting in there on Prometheus Lens, and I remember it was some of the funnest matches I had, because I am trash at PvP, and I will raise my hand every single day and be like, I am trash. I know the tactics. I know how they're supposed to run. I know how to identify when the other team is doing something and you're supposed to run this tactic to make it work. I have got 3,000 plus hours in Destiny. I know all the tricks of the trade. I just can't friggin' do them in PvP. I am well aware of it. I am okay with this. I will raise my hand and be like, yeah, guys, I'll play, but your KD's going down because of me. But Prometheus Lens was definitely one of the funnest matches, because I would run in there and I'd be like, all right, here we go. And I actually felt like I was competing. Like my KD was above 1.0 for once.
Yeah, you complain, Cecil, but I'm still sitting in the corner spinning in circles.
Yeah, and then they had a mode where you got your super quickly, and then So like this is to me this is something that it's an open playing field kind of thing, except for the console. Are they doing crossplay with console and
they finally
PC?
fired that up. Yeah, PC and console.
So even
crossplay.
in PvP,
correct.
You okay. So that's where it gets a little uneven because you can't do this as a console player.
True. That is a big problem. You can't do it as a console player.
That makes it a little unbalanced. But to me, it's kind of like, oh yeah, do this, and then here you have your super. So it's going to take a little setup and stuff like that. It's not as simple and easy exploit.
But my issue with it is that it's not like the loot cave where you just go there and you do this. It's not like Prometheus Lens where everybody had the Prometheus Lens by that point in time, or they could get it really easily. It's not like one of those things. It's a very specific, you've got to be in window mode. You've got to be one of these classes. You've got to have this equipped. You've got to do this. You've got to do, and it's something that you purposefully have to go and do. Like you can't just, like the loot cave, I randomly found the loot cave before it was even called the loot cave. I found the loot cave and I'm like, how the hell is this working? Why is it when I'm standing here? Like I would just stand in a spot and just like rotate around like a lighthouse and start wrecking stuff. And all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, they keep spawning from there. Let me just aim there. Oh, this is easy. All I got to do is keep shooting there. Holy crap, I'm a max light level except for raid gear. This is amazing. How the hell did this work out? You know, it was one of those things that you could stumble across. You know, with Prometheus Lens, it was, you saw everybody else using Prometheus Lens. So you go, let me throw on Prometheus Lens. Let me see what happens here. Oh, this is really fun. But this specific glitch, you've got to really you've got to know what you're doing with it. You've got to purposefully in your mind go, I'm going to do this. There's full on intent that you're going to do this glitch. I mean, if just for argument's sake, let's say Bungie is banning people, I think I'm actually on the side of I'm okay with them banning people because your intent is to go and do this. Your intent is to either A, make it easier for yourself, or B, make it less fun for somebody else because now you've got the advantage over them. It's not mayhem. It's in, it could be in Trials of Osiris. It could be in regular control. I mean, there would really be no point in doing it in Mayhem, but hell, if you want to do it in Mayhem, I guess, go ahead.
So where are you seeing the bans in Reddit? Because Reddit has scrubbed that for the most part. There's a couple threads, but only a handful that people are talking about. Right now, as of, 5 hours ago, the Telesto is bugged yet again, and there's a new video on how to exploit the shit out of that. And that one's got, a ton of credit and a ton of comments, and that's what everybody's on right now because everybody's talking about in the other threads. They've gotten the error a couple times and they stopped. They didn't get banned. They got the error. They got an email saying cease and desist type deal. But I'm not seeing anybody saying that they've actually been banned across the board yet.
Back in Monday, I saw probably half a dozen to a dozen. It was in the Destiny the Game subreddit.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Destiny the Game subreddit. And the newest thing is there's something about XUR or whatever, and keeping him hostage for some event thing. Yeah,
that was the latest glitch where you could, he wouldn't, if you got into it and you did some whatever thing, you would stay in the instance and Xur would stay there and people could load in on your instance and still buy Xur after Xur was already supposed to be gone.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I've got 15 hours total of keeping him hostage, and here's what you can do, and here's how you can exploit it. And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, literally, there are so many different things that you could do in Destiny.
It's a glitch fest, man.
It is.
It is absolutely a glitch fest, but that's fine as long as people are having fun with it. I mean, that's what matters.
But some of the glitches are really like holding Xur hostage after he's supposed to be gone. Xur is he sells you the exotic stuff, the stuff that you don't have. You go see Xur and he's selling you like a god roll of a legendary that you just never could get your hands on. If they had this incarnation of Xur in Destiny 1, I would have gotten that God roll IS Luna that I was begging for that I never got. And I'm still frigging salty about it. And yes, I know I've mentioned it before on the show, and I will keep mentioning it again because I never fucking got that roll.
Move on.
No, I can't. I just can't.
Lives rent free in your head. Hate is poison you drink, hoping your enemy would die. Just let it go.
I found there's an old school glitch that I found that's really cool. You can use with the Game Genie and Super Mario 3. There's a code you can find that there's like I think it's like 15 undeveloped, like just partially made levels that they're using in testing that are actually locked in the code. Put in the Game Genie code, you can actually play those levels.
Bitchin'.
Wow.
Yeah, that was in the book.
Yeah, they're unfinished, and some of them, to get out of it, you just have to die. But it's kind of neat because there's like 15 of them, so you can see where they were kind of. Some of them you can see like, yeah, this might have been like the prototype to one of the levels that made it in the game, but very unpolished. But you can go through and it's just stuff that was left in. It's kind of neat.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to post that link. Yeah, you're gonna have to post that in a link in Gamer News or something. I'd be because I've
got the Game Genie code.
Well, I was gonna say I've got the game and I've got an emulator and a Game Genie emulator on top of it. I mean, I actually have the game. It's not there. It's technically that direction. It's up in the top room, but
yeah, mine's over there.
Dude, I think I sent my Game Genie without the book to Zyber when I sent him all that big box of crap when I was cleaning through all my storage, and I was like, dude, I have an NES Game Genie? I don't know where the fuck the book is, but I remember it being a big deal at the time. Like, yeah, and you pull up that menu, and I got my sister holding the book and reading off the thing like, fuck, slow down. I got to get to the yeah. That was great, dude. I miss Game Genie.
I tried making my own codes, and I broke those games so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was fun, though. Like, just punching in random shit or just changing a number or a letter and be like, whoa, that's really altered the game. Everything is in a weird color now.
You couldn't tell anyways.
True story, but everybody else said it was in a weird color. I can't help being colorblind.
We gotta bring back cheat codes. That was such a fun time.
Oh man, dude, I used to get the EGMs and just flip right to the back, be like, all right, what's the cheat codes? What's the cheat codes? What's the cheat codes? Or where you find it out and you were the person who happened to know the Mortal Kombat blood code. So every time you were over at your friend's house, they're like, hey, can you put in the blood code? You're like, hey, hold on. A, B, A, C, A, B, B. And you're like, there you go, man. You're like, yeah, can you tell us? No, I won't. No, sorry.
Never. I'll die with this.
Yeah. This will be
that's what my tombstone will say.
Yeah, exactly. My tombstone will be A, B, A, C, A, B, B. Or it'll be the Konami code, one of the two. All right, so
now you have the Konami code. Everybody did.
How many tombstones actually have the Konami code on them now?
That's something.
I don't know. Probably they raise up from the dead, or
I mean, if it gives me 50 lives, if it gives me 50 lives, I'm going to throw it on my gravestone. Easy peasy. All right, so next topic we got is there was a new Metroid game released, and it was not a 3D, it was a side-scroller, and holy hell, I mean, I've loved Metroid since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Since they released it, I loved Metroid. The first time I figured out that Samus was a chick, friggin' mind blown. I played through that entire game thinking that I was a dude, and then I forget what it was, but one of my friends said, yeah, you're playing a chick. And I'm like, what? Like, no, like, Sam, no way. And then I got to the end and I saw the bikini. I'm like, holy crap. They were right. This is amazing. And that was the first time I had a strong feminine character in my life, and I loved it. Anywho, they came out with a new game, Metroid Dread. But before I start cracking into a little bit, anybody played it yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to be going to you then. I'm going to be looking at you for some info. But the basic synapse of it is you're playing as Samus, and it's not like the old school Metroid. I mean, it is like the old school Metroids, but there's a little bit of a twist. There's a spot where you're going to be chased by these robots that kind of look like the robots out of Portal, to be perfectly honest. But you're chased by these things, and if they get you, you're dead. So it kind of gives almost a kind of a horror element to the game.
Yeah, survival horror to it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I've watched
and frustrating at the same time.
And that's what I saw. I watched some people play it on Twitch. I really dug it. I'm super excited. I don't have enough time to throw it on my plate right now, but it's one of those games I know I'm going to get. I've gotten and played almost every other game that Metroid has released. I even played Other M. Yes, I played Other M. I'm not proud of it, but I have played it, okay? So I was super excited when I heard Dread was coming out. And I'm curious about everybody else's opinion. Like, have you seen it? Have you had a chance to play it? What's your interest in it? I want to soak up all the information that you got, because everything I've seen of it just keeps making me want it more. So D, you said you played it. Like,
yeah.
Give me the skinny. What's it feel like, man?
Well, it's pretty cool. It feels like you start playing it. Feels like, like the old school Metroid. It's like, yeah, nice. The old school side scroller and everything else. And so you start to learn how to play and hop around, and it's like, you get your little power up and everything else. But when you first go down, it's like you're going down. You get your AIs telling you what's going on. Then you wake up and you're like, you're down inside the planet. You're like, what the fuck's going on? Then you have a flashback where you're actually fighting and you lose to a Chozo. Those little statue guys, all those mythological creatures, fucks you up, and you're like, the hell? And you're kind of stranded. And of course, your AI won't link up to the ship, so you're kind of stranded. So you're kind of on your own. So you go in there and you start to learn what's going on. So you go through and you start, of course, the robots you're referencing that look like the robots from Portal are actually you were supposed to investigate, because they were scientific robots that's supposed to do some things. There was supposed to be that virus that was supposedly eradicated. The only cure was like the Metroids, and all of a sudden it pops back up. So they sent these robots in to investigate. They lose contact. And those are the robots that for some reason have gone haywire, and they're trying to fuck your day up. They're like indestructible as far as what you can do so far. So you're sitting there going around, and as soon as you find them, you have got to fucking get out of there. Otherwise, they're going to like kill you. Like, you get caught, it's game over right there. So you can't just sit there and try to fight them off. You get fucking caught, you're done. So you got to kind of, slide underneath them, get around them, or just keep dodging through and climbing up through as they're chasing you. So you get that horror element. And then it's back to kind of the side scroll. You're eventually, you're shooting little enemies. You go around your Metroid stuff, and then you come across them. It's like, fuck! Run away again. So you get that survival horror mix in. It's actually really cool. I keep dying, but left and right. But it's been fun.
So some of the mechanics that I've seen in it that really I'm excited about was they've got, I can think of the best way to describe it is parkour, where you would jump, grab a ledge, and pull yourself up and over, or jump, pull up, go into the morph ball. Something that I honestly
they've added a few more mechanics into it. Yeah,
something I thought should have been in every of the other Metroids, because it's like a no-brainer. Why the hell would you not grab a ledge if you were right next to it? So I'm super excited about the new mechanics. Now, to my understanding, and please correct me because I'm probably wrong, this obviously comes after Super Metroid, but does this come before Metroid Prime?
It's a sequel to the GBA, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes title. After. Yeah, it comes after the GBA titles, because that has to do with that virus that infected Samus, but the DNA injected from the Metroid was able to like stop the virus.
But that's all before.
It comes after that.
Yeah, that was Metroid Fusion, and that came right after Super Metroid, but that came before Metroid Prime, if I remember.
Yeah. I know this comes after the Metroid Fusion, the GBAs, but I don't know with reference to Metroid Prime. I just know within reference to the GBAs.
Okay. One of the reviews I think one of the reviewers I saw had trouble talking, is he's like, well, it's not a prequel because it comes after this one, but it's not a sequel because it comes before that. So I do think it's actually just like square in the middle, which I suppose is a bit of a spoiler, because of course she should survive.
Well,
she's not gonna die at the end of this game as a surprise twist.
Obviously. But that would screw. I mean,
but yeah,
that would be a hell of a twist.
I was a little confused, to be honest. I was a little confused. I knew it came after the GBAs, but after that, I was like,
well, I'm super excited, and like one of the things that I was like, I'm still getting the Steam Deck no matter what. But everything I've been seeing about the new OLED Switch, I want to play Metroid Dread on that new OLED. Like I want that. This is not say never. It's been a long time since I've just had like this urge of like, yes, I want to do this specific thing. And I want to. I really want to. I want to play the new Metroid Dread on the OLED.
One point of advice with the OLED, it looks nice. It's got the better screen quality. I mean, all the other hardware is the same, so you're not going to get any power boosts, although the nicer screen. But they advertise it being made of glass, so it's more scratch resistant. Get a screen protector. Don't believe that.
Yeah.
They actually had somebody that went in and scientifically said, okay, you remember in science class you had the whole thing where you had the whole number values for the scratch? Yep. Like, this is what glass is, this is what crystal, this is the materials, this is what plastic is.
Yeah.
They say, hey, this is a glass OLED screen. And when they did the scratch test, they actually found it to be more 2 to 3, which is the same as the plastics they normally use. So for some reason, they still scratch easier on the OLED than they should if they were actually real good tempered glass. So just be aware that they advise, if you get it, even though it says, oh, it's glass screen, put the screen protector on it, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Zag and VisiShield all day long. I'm a huge fan of those guys.
Because I watched a YouTube video, one of the guys that did it scientifically. Here's the scratch thing. Here's what this shows like. He did it all scientific, and he is like, it's like fucking plastic. He's like, what the hell? Scratched already. So just do that for the sake of your screen and buying another Switch if you get the OLED.
What you got, Trevor?
Cecil, I guess as a question for you guys who have played and enjoy Metroid, I haven't really been to the series, have played it, admire it from afar. Do you care that much about the story and the lore of it? Because it really seems the game is formulaic, and I don't mean that in a prerogative sense. Like, good, like this is your Metroid, this is your standard recipe for it. Like, this is how it's going to go. Do you pay attention to the story deeply, and you care about like this large arc of what Samus is doing, or is it more just, I want more Metroid, this is Metroid, hooray? What's it called now? Great, I'll kill that thing. Wonderful, give me more Metroid.
Hold on, D. I can already see you nodding at that. But Blue, what you got?
For me, I've made my points very clear. Story is very important to me. I like that entertainment aspect of it. I like the development. I like being drawn in. I can shoot stuff on a screen all day. That's just shooting stuff at a screen all day. That's what Back 4 Blood really is for me. It's a shooting stuff on the screen all day. I never really got invested in the beginning cutscene. I had problems with the connection to it. I was like, skip, whatever. Let's just play this game. I just want to play with you guys. But like single person games like Metroid, Zelda, the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game, like story to me is very important. And as someone who got in on GameCube playing Metroid Prime, Metroid Echoes, I really got involved in the story.
Yeah. So if I can rephrase it a bit, though, I do, because Zelda, I think, is a great example where the stories of each Zelda game are incredible. Like that really draws you through. You connect with characters you want to save and, become the hero. And I just wonder, is that almost the same with Metroid in the sense that this is this Metroid game, and in this particular scenario, you're doing this. So what I was more wondering about is that the lore and the overarching story, because this is kind of a, this is number 3.5 out of 6 stories that have been told. Is that connecting thread important as opposed to, the story of the individual game? I'm 100% with you. You want a reason to draw you through, but I'm more curious for Metroid fans. Do you care about the overarching theme of it? And I don't have a dog in this race. I'm just kind of honestly curious from people who like it.
Well, Damok, go ahead. I know you're next, Steve, but you gave a spiel bit. So, Damok, what do you got?
Metroid has a story. Okay. Oh, and I'm dead serious. I've played it through NES and everything, and there's a fucking story to that game. Yeah, see, look, I got God behind me saying they have even fucking comics for the goddamn game, and I'm going, I don't even know.
Yes, there's a story.
I've played it, and it, like Trevor was saying, it's one of the, I agree, Zelda, you play for the individual stories across the game, and it's amazing. Metroid? I've never paid attention to any of the story. I found it originally to be a great platformer game that was just really fun and complicated in certain parts. Now I have to go back and replay the damn games because I honestly didn't think there was a deep story. I thought it was a surface story and you're screwing around with it.
What do you got, D?
Well, obviously we know first and foremost they're great platformers. Yeah, I mean, that's first and foremost, like especially the original NES version was, breakthrough platformer. But what's great about the overreaching story throughout the games is that you got a lot of under the hood, like hidden mythology, or not so mythology, but like history of like ancient alien race and civilization, advanced, the Chozos, like I referenced. you got all this like little bits and crumbs of like this advanced alien race that was here and something that was there before the other space pirates. So you're always getting this tantalizing only this mythology of this ancestor like super advanced race. So you're always getting those little crumbs, and it adds to that overall story mythos. And I really like that. And it goes across the whole games where now you get a little bit more. And now with Metroid Dread, I've honestly only just scratched the surface, just started it. But now it's like you always hear about them like being like, you think of them like being extinct and gone. And now we just fought like you're doing a memory thing where like, what the hell happened? You come to and you had fought a live one. So now it's like, okay, my interest is peaked. So there's that under the hood, like, Yeah,
I'm going to throw in there this is just from watching people play as well as playing myself. There are two different ways of playing Metroid. There's I'm going to go through and I'm going to shoot everything, and I'm going to explore, and I'm going to just get through the game because the game is just fun. It's just genuinely fun. It's like the Castlevanias, like Symphony of the Night. You can just go through and play and collect all the weapons, and they are just fun games to play because they are just genuinely fun gaming mechanics. And then there is a second way to play, and neither one is better than the other. So before you're like, oh man, you're being no. Neither one is better than the other. Both are equally as fun, and both equally have their merits. The second way of playing is exactly what Dee was just talking about, where you are actually paying attention to the story going on behind it because you're stopping and you're going slower, and you're like, wait, what's going on here? In the original Metroid, it was really hard for them to tell a story because you had like a beginning, you had the booklet that you read, and then you were like, well, what are these statues? And then you read up about these statues. You found out that they were the Chozo. You found out that you actually got your suit from the Chozo. And then you're finding out, well, what the hell are these things I'm fighting? Oh, these are space pirates. Well, what the hell are these space pirates doing there? Oh, the space pirates are breeding the Metroids. What the hell are the Metroids doing? And you find out that there's this very overarching story between games. And for some people, I'm one of them, that overarching story is really important. Especially when you went from the original Metroid to Samus Returns and then when you got to Super Metroid. And the funny thing is that Super Metroid is actually, like, out of all the games I've ever played, Super Metroid is still the top game, in my opinion. It's my favorite game. It's, out of all the games I've ever played, Super Metroid hit all the marks. It hit the story marks that I liked because it advanced the story. It hit the nostalgia marks because in Super Metroid, you go back to the original planet that you were on Metroid, and you actually go back through a whole bunch of the old stuff that you were there. So it hit that nostalgia factor. It expanded on it so much more, gave you so much more abilities. So there is an overarching story. Yeah, right there. I actually have it too. I just don't have it in my hands. There is an overarching story that you really had to. Metroid had, at least in the side scroller ones, had a very unique way of delivering the story to you. It wasn't a here's the story. Like in Metroid Prime, they tell the story through the scans where you scan something and it tells you all about it. And as you scan more and more things, it gives you a really holistic view of what's happening in the game and what happened a long time before the game. In fact, in Metroid Prime and Echoes and all of them, you find a lot of things about the previous games that you never knew just by reading some of those things that you scanned, which was really cool. So I think for a lot of Metroid fans, it's that overarching story which keeps them going and keeps them going back for more. That overarching lore keeps them going back for more. But then there's the other side of it, that the game mechanics are so much fun that it keeps people coming back. So you get the Damoks because they're like, well, this game is just genuinely fun. I want to play it. And then you get the Ds who are like, well, I want to find out what the hell's happening with this because the Chozos are supposed to be extinct. They gave us our suit and then they disappeared and they died. So what the hell are they doing alive? So I think you've got the two sides of it right there. And I think for a good portion of players, that overarching story does mean something. What you got, D?
I honestly think like which way like you go would really depend on what type of gamer you are. If you're more of the type that just likes to play like the platform, just the fun mechanics, you're gonna just love it for the mechanics. But if you're more of like an RPG player like me, you're gonna sit there in for the lore and the storyline, which it's got as soon as you really get into the games. Like I said, if you played like, the more you get into the series, the more it starts to dig a little bit deeper. Kind of like the Zelda series. Like at first it was like more, they can only include so much in the game and so much story. But then as the games got more advanced, they can include more of that backstory in it and fill you in more. So just depending what type of gamer you are, if you're more into the RPGs, you're going to get more into the storyline like me, versus like if you're more into just the fun game mechanics, you'll just be like, what story? Like Damok. So I think it just depends on what type of gamer you are, but they're fun either way.
Yeah, and it's not like any one of those style of gamers is better than the other, because like I'll give you a couple quick for instances. For me, No Man's Sky and Sea of Thieves, I played those games when they first launched, and I just loved the way those games played. I did not care at all if there was a story there. I loved loading myself into a cannon and launching myself onto an island and slashing at skeletons. I just
with
loved
friends,
doing that.
drinking rum. Fuck yeah.
Right there. I just loved doing that. I loved finding my first ship and putting it back together and breaking Atmo and finding a space station, then going to the net. I just loved the game mechanics of it. So like I'm a weird, I guess I'm just a weird gamer, because I skirt that line on so many different games. There are games that I really love the overarching story, and then there's games that just reel me in because they are just genuinely fun games to play. So I don't think there is a real big difference. Like there's not a, well, I'm better because I like to read the story. Oh, I'm better because I like the game mechanic. No, nobody's better. I think it's just how you enjoy the game is how it boils down.
I think the best way to put it is it's like, what's the best game?
Yes. Game you have fun with.
Whatever you personally enjoy the most.
Yep.
There's your best game. Rather than all this, the snooty, superiority. Oh, it's whatever you take the most enjoyment from. That's the whole point of this whole thing.
And I don't die a single time.
I'm sorry, guys, but Metacritic proves all of you wrong. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is the greatest game ever fucking created on this planet.
Amen.
If you had to make an argument, that's
Damok in with the Metacritic. I love it.
Dude, Ocarina of Time is one of the very few games that I have played multiple times. And I think it's the only game that I've played through at least 3 times.
Dude, that game makes me cry when the great Dookie tree dies and he passes on his wisdom, and then you go to
the great shit tree.
Yeah, Dookie tree, whatever the fuck his name is, man.
Deku tree.
Deku. Okay, sorry. Whatever. It's been a while since I played. I'm really looking forward to playing it on Switch now that they've launched the N64 series. But the Deku tree and all of that, and then when you hit the Temple of Time, and it talks about how time is a river that continues to flow, and how everyone you loved is now gone, and all of this. And it was like, that shit hit deep and hard. Like, I cried. And I was like, holy shit, dude. That was beautiful when they wrote it. And I was a kid. Holy crap,
so
dude.
I've got a confession that is probably going to get me killed, but I did not like anything past A Link to the Past, except for the sequel to A Link to the Past. Like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, I admit that they are fantastic games. I could not get into the gameplay. The mechanics of the game just did not keep me, and I just could not get into them.
Okay, so for me, though, I went from an NES to an N64. That I didn't get anything before that. I had to go to friends' houses to play Sega Genesis, and when we did that, only my friend's best game he had was Mutant League Football, which is my favorite fucking football game of all time.
Did you play Mutant League Hockey?
And Mutant League Hockey was really good. Yeah,
yes.
And they were hella cheap, so his family was able to get both of them. Oh, and Toe Jam and Earl. We played that
That's another good one.
It's a terrible game, but it was fun.
Oh, it's fun. And Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim, when you play it, and you get to the end, and it's just a thing, and it's a fish in a fishbowl. Totally anticlimactical. Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, no.
I started off on Atari 2600 that my parents found at a tag sale. So.
Yep.
Nice, dude. No, they had an Atari, but we didn't play it. I started Nintendo, the original NES. I had a handful of games for it. My next upgrade was the 64, and my buddy, I can't say his name, but his brother stole the Ocarina of Time game from Blockbuster because he was working there, and I bought it off of him for $7. Then he could go buy whatever the fuck he was buying for $7. I love that game. But
dude, the original Nintendo, I remember this so vividly. Do you remember the old QVC? Like back when QVC first came out, they sold Nintendo games on QVC. My father bought us Rambo. I think it was like Rambo 2 or whatever. It was whatever Rambo game came out for NES. It was Rambo and some other game, and I can't remember what the other game was because all we played was Rambo. Oh, it was Fester's Quest.
I have that still.
Dude, we got Rambo and Fester's Quest, and we played the hell out of Rambo. I never even touched Fester's Quest until so much later, and then I realized how fun Fester's Quest was. And I'm like, oh
but
my
tough.
God. Oh, and super tough. But when you get to the thing, you use the noose to call Lurch, and then you'd get all the special things that you buy from Lurch. Freaking fantastic.
Did anybody play Captain Skyhawk on NES?
Yes.
A tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually watched the cartoon too.
They had a cartoon? I missed that.
I thought they did Skyhawks.
I think that's Skyhawk's cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Seem to
Now I think I
remember.
might be agreeing because just for the sake of agreeing. I don't cognitively
Yeah, I don't know
remember
about a
Skyhawks.
cartoon. I played Captain Skyhawk, and that game was hard as shit.
There was a Skyhawks, but it wasn't Captain Skyhawk. Those are two different things.
Sorry, I'm mixing them up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was a Skyhawks, and they were like the things that they had like the eagle heads on, and then they put their arms up, they had the wings.
Yeah, they were
flew
like
around.
space and shit.
Yeah, Captain Skyhawk was completely different than that.
Yeah.
Now, I have a weird transition topic unless Cecil actually had something.
Oh, go.
I have a topic too.
So, I'm looking at New Dad Gaming, and admittedly, this is the first time I'm hearing about it, and I haven't had a chance to listen to any of your episodes yet, but your brief titles of what you have and a brief summary of everything, I'm super interested. How many kids do you have, and what age range, if you're comfortable talking about it?
Yeah, for sure. Now, I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So just the two of them.
Okay.
Which is the appropriate number.
There you
No
go.
more
Yeah, there's two kids here. One just turned 18. I got one that's 12 and all of that. Admittedly, the fiance's kids, but, great kids. I've known her for a long time now. I know D has a couple kids, but I don't know all his kids. And I know Cecil's kid, Blue, he's working on it. He's got like 9 in the making because he's going to be one of those.
Yeah, yes. Because he's like the old Monty Python. Every sperm is sacred.
Every sperm is good. If a sperm
unconfirmed
is
kids, we'll say it that way.
wasted,
There you go. No
God
confirmed
gives-
kids. Now, I got a question for everyone because I have run into this about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, with the kids playing video games and doing all of that. Has anybody run into one of the kids actually being a poor sport at video games, and how have you dealt with it?
Oh, I had one recently.
Both.
Yeah. So I wanted to nip it in the bud because wanted him to understand the consequence. So he had lost the game to his brother, and he threw the nunchuck or the Joy-Con. So it was just that kind of rage moment, which again, we've all been there. So it's like you can empathize it, like, I know what you're feeling. I've done that before too, but also that's $100 controller. We're not going to be doing that. So in that case, it was just he lost access to it for 2 days. And the next day when he asked about it, it's like, well, remember yesterday you got angry, which again, you're going to get it's fine to be angry. It's like what you do with that anger is the important part, and throwing it is not what we do here. So that's why you're not playing again today. So wait another day and you'll get it back. And then you can see when he starts to build up anger next time, he starts doing the calculus, where it's like, I'm really pissed off. Throwing this would be amazing. But more amazing is not losing games. So let's see if we can kind of keep it under wraps. How about everybody else?
Yeah, my kids are bad about it too. They get kind of competitive. Thankfully, I haven't had any throwing the controllers yet. Sometimes they'll hit each other, but I'll take away games for a day or two, type deal. Sometimes the whole weekend, depending how bad the little fit is. But thankfully, I haven't had any thrown Joy-Cons yet.
Especially like the old Wii days, where we saw like you would see the nunchuck like stuck out of the TV.
Oh yeah,
because somebody like gets so pissed off playing Wii Bowling and just like it's like just
They
jammed out of the TV set.
They sue Nintendo like, oh, it came off, and it's like you have to be trying hard to do. You have to stab that TV with all your might. I mean, how the hell do you pull that off? I mean, I've had a couple
thrown axes at TV, and they don't go in that deep.
I know, it's like, it's like, what'd you do? Like, load it in the old cannon, put a little gunpowder in, ba-boom! Nintendo, how did you let this happen? You used a fucking cannon, dude.
What you got, Blake?
So I know I don't got kids, but my I remember when I was 16, I was playing with friends at their place. We were playing Halo, and they were getting angry, and they were getting very vulgar, and they were getting very loud, and they were just they weren't throwing anything, but they were cursing. They were getting very frustrated, and you can tell that they were just very angry about getting killed or whatnot. And I was like, I never happened. I remember getting frustrated, and I remember just like, and just like, like throwing my hands up and whatnot. I saw them do that, and then I was like, oh, maybe that helps. So I started doing that. Not one of my brightest moments, because it only got worse. And then I remember my mother came by the room once, and she poked her head in, and she says, if that doesn't stop, that thing goes bye-bye permanently. And I remembered I just like put the controller down. I was like in the middle of a Lone Wolves match, and it was like, yeah, I got to stop doing this.
So you were the Call of Duty kid.
I never really so I didn't wear the headset and like curse at people. Like that was never my thing to like really I mean, like I would get angry at someone, be like, why would you do that? Like I never really played teams. I played Lone Wolf, so it was all like on me, and I get mad at someone, but I never was like, I'm not going to shout at someone at the end of a match.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting defensive now, which makes me really think that you were that guy now.
Dude, Blue is the kid in that video because he's not on the microphone thing. He just gets so mad. His brother's videotaping him shoving the controller up his ass because he's just so pissed off.
I mean, I cursed a lot, and I got really pissed off at people. But I mean, it's just people just better than me. That's what it is.
So I was the oldest brother, and I was a salty motherfucker. So,
yes, he was. I can validate that 100%.
So like when you own the old Nintendo and stuff, like I'm the oldest, so I get the first controller. So they pissed me off, and they'd be playing Mario. They'd hop mid jump. I'd pause it. What? Unpause it. Let them just drop in the pit. Be like, what now?
So the specific reason that I'm asking, because reading over the New Dad Gaming, I really am gonna have to listen to your podcast. Some of your stuff seems very, very interesting to me. I know your kids are a lot younger than the kids that I have here, but the 12-year-old here, and I think she was 11 at the time, Among Us has been a very, very popular game everywhere, right? I've had to ban the game permanently in the household. I can't play it because I banned it for her playing it and all of that. She was the imposter, and in order to make the game go faster, when she was the imposter and she got caught and called out because she would do it quick, she would make sure that she called out the other imposter so that they could end the game and go to the next game faster so she can keep playing instead of sitting out entirely. And that has not gone very well, and I don't want to ban the video game. I don't want to take it away, but it wasn't one time. It was multiple times. And then there's the getting very upset when she's being accused of being the imposter. And she wasn't the imposter at the time and getting voted out. So she takes the whole thing to make sure she screws with other people as best she can. So it's the only game that we've truly ever had an actual issue with. But have you guys dealt with a situation like that, and how did you guys handle it? Because I'm curious. I've had to ban the game in the household, and that honestly fucking sucks. Because It's terrible to ban the games. It's not a bad game.
See, that sounds exactly like the perfect Among Us player, honestly. I mean, just you described her. I'm like, that's literally Among Us in a nutshell. So, like, why? I mean, I want her on my team.
It's an interesting offense because it's, it's not the being angry at something. Obviously, that's not great. You got to control emotions as best you can. But not abiding by the spirit of the game. In so much that like there's two imposters and like you can't rat out your other imposter. How would you feel if somebody ratted you out and you still wanted to win? Like that's not you are ruining the game for other people because like you're a bit salty with like the loss of it. So that's a really fascinating bent on it, one that I hadn't heard. I think it's probably much along it might just be that with the particular scenario, it's just not a game that's going to be allowed in the house, which that sounds like a fine excuse. Otherwise, it's if there's a desire there. It's funny to hear like all the stories of like, I got really pissed off and my mom took it away. Like that's such a common thread with parents and kids in games. And it's hilarious that threat has maintained since we were young. Because losing the game system, like there's nothing worse. Like losing the game is the worst that you think you could possibly experience. So I just have to imagine if she would want to get in, you just set rules and it's like, you can't get angry or like you can't get overly upset. You're going to get angry, but how do you handle it? And then you can't rat out your people. And for the first like next 10 matches, we're going to do it together. And I'm going to make sure you play and make sure it's fun for everybody else. And then if they can show themselves to be trustworthy, great. And if not, well, sorry, this title's not going to work in our household. So let's find something else.
And might I suggest that while you're watching over playing for those 10 games, that you sit there with a knife in your hand and you just look at her. Every time she dies, you just look at her and you go, remember, snitches get stitches. And you just stare at her. And you don't actually cut her. You don't actually do that. No, that would be bad.
Cecil, you've met her. She'll cut me. She'll take a knife from me, and I'll be the one bloody on the floor, man.
I'll be sitting there on a video chat with you. You'll have a knife sticking out of your neck, and you'll be going, Cecil, you told me to do this. You said this would work. And I'd be like, dude, I really thought it would work. I really did. I had good intentions here.
Yeah, this is if I can throw a random... I'll steal my co-host's random story. So he's got I always mess up his age. I swear it's like 10 and 12 himself. So what's kind of nice is he's forging the path for me. So a lot of it's just me asking him questions for what I'm going to expect. But this is kind of a left field story, if you'll indulge me. So it turns his kid was doing really poorly in school, was missing a bunch of homework situations, right? And what they discovered was that this is at home schooling because of the pandemic, and they had their little laptops and they were watching him. And it's like, well, he's at school every day. Like, what's this all about? And then finally they catch him. Just one day they kind of peek over and they discover that he's in a new tab. He's not in the tab he's supposed to be with his classmates doing all the learning. He's in a tab, which is a custom Roblox game that is Among Us. So he wasn't allowed to play Among Us. There's no like browser version of Among Us. So like he and all of his school buddies had found this online version of Among Us that they rebuilt in Roblox. And instead of being in school, he's just sitting there cranking this game all day. Surprise, surprise, his marks are going way down the drain, and the whole thing just blows up. And now they have to have him like sit like watching him because he was playing this knockoff Among Us game in Roblox instead of doing school.
That is future management right there. That is a future manager right there. Telling you
true story. You gotta appreciate the hustle, right? Like you have to punish him, but at the same time, man,
you're
bravo,
like,
that's pretty good.
You're like
pretty genius.
Damn, that was pretty smart of you.
How were the grades doing? Like, did the grades go down?
The grades are slipping. Yeah, so that's okay. We're going too far.
So we had the opposite problem. She's stupid smart. Everything is too easy for her. She's in a gifted program doing great. Well, if she would pay attention, she'd be doing great. But she would start her day. She would sit down in front of her laptop when we were doing the 100% virtual last school year. And she would do all of her classes in the first 15 to 20 minutes. And then she would paste, we had the teachers send a couple emails that, hey, she's posting paragraphs in the chat and memes all the time, and she's playing the custom Roblox things to play the Among Us. Right now, the new custom one going around is the Squid Game is on Roblox, and so
of course
you can play Squid Game. So they're doing that. And
can you link me that?
Yeah, actually, I will, because I'm trying to play it too after I watched her, and I was like, damn it, I got to get Roblox. But, I mean, her grades were phenomenal, like perfect straight A's. She was doing all of her work. It was fantastic, but she was an absolute horrible poor sport when it came specifically to that game. I think she's done very well with other games, but when it's a competition game, even when we play, board games at the table as a family, she's very competitive, and if I can't win or ruin it for everybody, I don't want to play. And I'm trying to figure out a way to help her move past that, but I'm having a rough time figuring out, do I just ban the fucking games outright and say, you know what, you're done with them, I don't give a shit anymore? Because saying, hey, let's try playing it this way, well, I don't really like that game. So,
Well, I've said it multiple times, and I used to be incredibly competitive at games. I mean, like downright, if I wasn't good at a game or if I wasn't beating everybody at a game, I would play it to the point that I could play it with my feet and beat somebody. And
no, true story. He used to beat me with his fucking feet all the time. Mortal Kombat. Killer Instinct.
I literally learned how to play those games so much that I could play them with my feet. And yes, I would beat people with my feet. I mean, that's the level of competitiveness I used to be. I got to a point where I finally was like, this is turning into a stressor. Like I would play people, and it would start stressing me out because I couldn't beat them. And then I'd start working until I could. And I mean, we won't even go into the Counter-Strike days because those are some dark times. But
that was me right there. I was very competitive and played semi-professionally on Counter-Strike.
Let's just say that I put a whole PC together with some of the stuff that I won out of Counter-Strike tournaments and Jedi Outcast tournaments. So I am now, like, I've finally figured out a way, and I've said it before, and I've even like argued with you and Co on it, that I am just not competitive on games in general, like at all, like just across the board. If somebody's like, oh man, have you gotten this out of this game? No, I'm not competitive enough to like strive for that. I don't need to be the first person to get it. I don't need to be the 100th person to get it. I don't need to be the 1,000,000th person to get it. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I'm just like, I play games now strictly to enjoy them. And that's like how I try to roll. And it's the funny thing, because when you mention kids, my daughter, because I play video games, my daughter wanted a gaming system. So I got her, I said, hey, look, if you get this many AR points, and they were the advanced reader points back when she was in elementary. So if you get this many AR points, you can pick the system. I'll buy it for you. You tell me what system it is. I don't care what it is. I'll buy it for you. So she did. She knocked it out of the park. She had to get like 150 points, and she ended up getting like 780 points, like some stupid amount. And I'm like, well, shit, I should have set that bar a lot higher. Anywho, so then she's sitting there and she goes to get it, and she sees me playing PS4 all the time. So she's like, well, I want to get a PS4. And I'm like, well, before you decide on getting a PS4, what do your friends have? Like, well, I don't know. I want to get a PS4 to play with you. And I said, we can play my PS4. I've got plenty of 2-player games. I was like, but in the end, you're going to be playing more with your friends than you are with me. I was like, I will play with you any day of the week. You tell me you want to play Injustice 2? Dude, we are playing Injustice 2. That doesn't bother me. We'll make that happen. Whether you've got a system, I've got a system, or we're going out and we're going to the arcade or something. We're doing it. I said, but in the end, you're going to be playing more with your friends than you are with me. So what do your friends have? She's like, well, they all have the Switch. I was like, well, does the Switch seem interesting? She's like, oh yeah, it really does. I said, well, do you want a Switch? And after she took some time and thought about it, she's like, yeah, she got a Switch. And it's been the best thing in the world, because there's a lot of Switch games that can be competitive, like, I don't know, Just Dance, which she's a friggin' dancer, so she blows me away every single time. But like, there are games like that where you can be competitive, but it's not really competitive. You're really more competitive with yourself than anything else. And like, there's been some sparks of competitiveness with her, but really she's just, I mean, because since she's been born, I've gotten out of that I'm super competitive with games. She's not really super competitive. If she loses, she's just like, nah, all right, whatever. What do you got, Trevor?
So I got two kind of thoughts that sort of maybe put a bit of a cap on it would be, and it's different for every scenario. The problem is like with any type of parenting advice, it's like you don't know the house, you don't know the parent, you know the kids. So it's like this one thing will solve everybody's problem. Fantastic.
Yeah. Nap time. Grab nap time. It fixes everything.
Oh, dude, it's tequila in this household, man. Tequila fixes everything.
I do like I like a bit of competitiveness in a kid. There's something about someone who wants to win, has that eye of the tiger, like wants to drive, and there's certain benefits to that where I think maybe when us were coming up or kind of a previous generation, it maybe got a little bit too dulled where the participation trophies and like there wasn't as much drive to have like winners, and like, you know, if you want to get good, you got to practice and you have to want to win, you have to drive. So, you know, like keeping some competitiveness in there is great. So you don't want to dull that edge too much. And I think otherwise, one thing that's worked somewhat well is, as opposed to being a dominating force, and again, this trial and error, like who knows how it works, but instead of being a dominating force, like here's the rule and here's how it's going to work. Especially with a 12-year-old as they're starting to come into their own, it's like, here's the outcome I'd like to see. Is like, I'd like you to be able to play some games and you can lose and control yourself, not kind of ruin it for other people. And this could be a good thing inside of our household. Currently what's happening is this, which is counter to that. So here's what I'm proposing we do. What do you think we can do so that we can all arrive at you being able to play this game? Because so you're putting it, you're including them in the solution of saying like, I want to find a way that we can let you play this game, but the way you're currently doing it, we can't because it's a negative force. So I think we can maybe do this, this, or this, and then you can start playing that game again. It doesn't have to be gone. What do you think? Like, how do you approach it? So that way, when it comes time for her to think about it, she's part of the solution. You're not this dominating, well, here's my rules, you'll live by it, or hit the bricks type of thing.
Yeah.
There might be something to consider.
I understand entirely. That's, I try and do it by a council, right? Where everybody sits at and I'm for the empire and across the board. I'm very authoritarian. I just believe in doing it that way. But I do the council. We used to meet at the kitchen table. Yeah, do. You know, it's almost like saying basic. I don't know how that works.
I'm out of drink, yeah.
Oh, boy. All I've got is this vodka. God damn it.
Yeah, okay. But I try to do it to where we sit down and we all talk about it and discuss it and go from there. And that has worked for the most part. But I think maybe the stress of the pandemic across the board and being stuck inside and it being one way or the other, and it got pretty nasty. So I've had to ban the game, and I don't want to ban the game because I was having fun playing the game. But I'm on the line with Cecil where, sure, when I was 16 to 25, just, young, dumb, and full of cum, like, let's do this across the board, competitive on everything. And now I'm just like, man, I'm 38. I just want to play video games and have fun. I want to come home and drink a beer and relax. But that's me.
No. I think that's. I think those are all valid points, and Trevor, to your point, I think you nailed it. Like, the household's different. You don't know the kid. There could be all sorts of things that are going on. So it's really hard to kind of give an overarching. Yeah. Here's what works. But I do agree with you. I think the getting them involved in the solution is going to teach a lot more than just the authoritative. This is how it works, and you've got to deal with it. I love that idea, and I agree with it 100%. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't think that that's a great way to do it. But
I'd also agree with Damok. At some point, you have to. That's great. You try your best. Your heart's in the right place, but eventually, sometimes you got to put your foot down too. So, that's 100%.
Yeah, I mean, there's exceptions to every case as it rolls, But on that note, we got to wrap this up. I've had a great time tonight, guys. I want to thank each one of you for being here. But Damok, where can people find you at, man?
I pretty much troll the G.N.A Discord. I'm wearing the Thoughts and Shots t-shirt, so I'm in their Discord. Hopefully I'm going to be harassing New Dad Gaming in potentially their Discord. But yeah, you'll find me around. Just search for Damok in the G.N.A Discord.
Rock on. What about you, D? Where can people find you at, man?
People can find me on my website, microbrewgamers.com, where I do some reviews of tech and beer. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. Of course, I got my own Discord, but I'm usually on the G.N.A podcast Discord, haunting here.
Very nice. What about you, Blue? Where can people find you at?
You can find me here on our G.N.A Discord, and you can find me on Twitter as well as BlueShark45.
Very nice. Trevor, sir, thank you for joining us.
Very good.
Where can people find you at?
Man, absolute pleasure, guys. Can't thank you enough for having me. That was a phenomenal conversation. So as mentioned, it's the New Dad Gaming Podcast. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all the usual podcasts if you search for us, and otherwise at our website, newdadgaming.com, and Twitter at newdadgaming.
Very nice. We got to make sure to hook up and link up on Twitter. And I'm Cecil Xavier, your host. You can find me on Cecil vs. Games on Twitter, Cecil Xavier everywhere else, Ustream, Twitch, Jesus, where else? Facebook, Grindr, Tinder, 3Play. I mean, look, if I'm not, if you're looking for me, I'm probably there. Just if I'm not, tell me. I'll upload there. I don't care. I'll go everywhere. I literally pimp this podcast everywhere I go. So we hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Reviews help people find the show. So if you enjoy the show, help other people find it by giving a review. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play Music, Podcast Addict, Player FM, Spreaker, MyTuner, Your Listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. I think I already said Stitcher once. Look, we're everywhere. If we're not someplace, let us know. We'll upload there. We're happy to. And we're partnered with Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is a game purchasing service where, with a little bit of a twist, when you buy a game or a package or a bundle, you also donate to charity. So if you put the $partner equals G.N.A podcast at the end of whatever your Humble Bundle link is, that'll let them know we sent you. If you do buy a bundle, make sure to go into the little sliders there where you can select where your money goes. Take the G.N.A slider, put it all the way down to 0 because we don't want your money. We want you to give it to charity. We want you to give it to the publisher, maybe throw a bone or two to Humble Bundle, but we don't want your money. We just want to know that we sent you there. That's all we care about. We just want that little metric to say, it went up $2 because somebody donated $2 and we sent it there. That's all we care about. It's all about charity for us. So, Humble Bundle. Oh, I think we got a website still, right? Hey, what's our www.
Don't let your kids play certain games because they're kind of assholes, but you still love them anyways. .com or GNApodcast.com.
Sorry, Trevor, I forgot to warn you about that. I thought if you saw everybody ripping their headphones off, you'd follow in suit.
Not quick enough? I'll have that ringing in my ear for a couple weeks. It's worth it.
I try to tap the earphones like, take them off, man.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I had a great time. Trevor, thank you for joining in. You are welcome back anytime you would like. We love cross podcast stuff. We do stuff with Thoughts and Shots, and when TPC was up and running, so we love that type of stuff. You're welcome anytime. And have a great night, gentlemen.
Y'all have a great one.
Dude. It's been fun.
Thanks,
and I'm going to check out New Dad Gaming here in a second.
Hoorah. Send us some notes.